Welcome to Ilagan Whiteboard Friday, where we look at complex legal and compliance issues in a simple to do ways. This series is brought to you by Ilagan, your partner and provider of end-to-end business services.
Hello and welcome to Ilagan Whiteboard Fridays, where we look at various compliance and tax related issues in a user-friendly fashion. Today we will discuss a very hot topic. A lot of people have been approaching us what to do, a private limited or an LLP. So let's see what are the various advantages and disadvantages of both. So limited liability nature of doing business. So this is available both for private limited and LLP. So that's not a problem. So in case while doing business if something goes wrong, then you can always your personal assets should be protected. So in both of this, LLP does not have a fundamental concept of having a shares kind of thing. So things like ESOPs, differential voting rights, or a preferential or a different classes of shares, these are not possible in LLP, and it's only possible in private limited kind of thing. It has a much better scalability, private limited. So as you grow, as the business grows, you can actually convert it to public, which is LLP cannot be converted into a public, so you may have to start afresh. Also for big business, private limited has a good structure of having discrete directors, shareholders, very discrete and defined responsibilities and statements, so that helps to govern the company overall. So that's the way scalability is much better in private limited as compared to an LLP. Getting risk capital, investors preferably invest only in private limited and they don't go for LLP. Some of the reasons being they don't have great exit options, differential voting rights, different classes of shares and stuff. That's why raising a risk capital into LLP becomes very challenging. The brand value, private limited has much better branding as compared to LLP, because a lot of large enterprise customers do business only with private limited, although that's not a government rule which prevents it. It's more of an internal policy. The public at large know much better about private limited, not about LLP, because LLP is a new thing and it is more associated as of now also, and going forward also it would mostly be associated with smaller forms of doing business. So SMBs and all would be mostly using LLPs, whereas big businesses have private limited and stuff. So the brand value is much better in private limited. You can raise NRI, or you can have NRI partners. Foreign direct investments can be taken in both, but private limited scores much better because it is possible to have complete set of foreigners or NRIs to be a part of private limited, whereas in LLP at least one person has to be in India to form an LLP. So going public, as I have already said, it is not possible in LLP, and LLP has a good advantage of pass-through taxation. So in private limited, when you distribute your profits as dividend, then you have to pay something called dividend distribution tax, whereas in LLP, post-tax profits can be distributed to partners as tax-free. So that's a place where LLP scores much better than private limited. But again, given the kind of flexibility and scalability needs of a business, this may not come in very handy, and private limited may still be a much better and preferred choice. Some of the other points which is like more from the practical sense, like LLP is more restricted for or more suitable for smaller businesses. So if you are into a pilot stage, or if you are doing a very local set of a business, then it could be a good idea to have an LLP. Or if you are not trying to raise any money, the employees also, because public don't know much about LLP, it becomes little challenging to attract great talents in LLPs. Also, you cannot share wealth with employees and stuff. So these are few points where LLP scores low. But overall, again, we recommend to discuss with an expert and see what best suits you, and then take a call whether private limited or LLP, which one to go for. These are the major factors that you should keep in mind. And I guess these points and answers to these points should help you decide which would be a good choice to go ahead. That's it on Ilagan Whiteboard Friday issue today. Feel free to drop us an email at support@ilagan.com, or check out our knowledge base at ilagan.com/kb for more details. Thank you.